Haki versus devil fruits. Which is more powerful? This has been a long time debate ever since the post time skip started, where we start to see more and more and more Haki be utilized, and understanding just how important Haki was for the overall scope of the One Piece series. And this was brought back into the forefront. This debate was reeled on in by Yonko Waroro, land, sea, and air. He is allegedly said to be the strongest Kaido, because in chapter 1047, he once again stoked those flames with a relatively large blast breath. And I quote in this chapter, "In the end, a strong devil fruit power isn't enough to conquer these seas. Look at Roger. He had no fruit power and still brought the world to heel. Such hurdles can only be overcome with Haki." And Kaido wraps this up with the big exclamation mark, the Death Destroyer Thunder Bagua. Now, to cover all of our bases here, let's also go through the Viz translation version of this statement. Abilities alone cannot conquer the world. The world is convenient that way. Roger didn't have any fruit powers because only Haki can transcend all. So in both the Viz and of course the scanlations, Kaido is talking about how Haki is the S-H-I-T. I won't say the full word because Susan is going to roll me if I do. With that being said, yes, apparently Haki is that damn good. It's the sauce that you want on top of everything. Whether it's salmon, whether it's ribs, on your salad, doesn't matter. And I think for the most part that Kaido is saying a statement because of his aggravation that Luffy is messing around. After dodging Luffy's Thunderbolt attack, Kaido was getting mad salty. Dude, okay, you know, fine. You can play around if you want to, but I am about to smoke you. It's because the entire fight in Gear 5, Luffy was using Haki, but he was not using any Haki techniques up until Kaido said this particular line about Haki. Like, unironically, this man actually hardens his forearm for the first time before Kaido delivers the Death Destroyer Thunder Bagua. However, once again, the flames were stoked. So where do I stand, particularly when it comes to devil fruits versus Haki? Which one is more powerful, arguably also more important? I will not give you a fence-sitting half-ass answer like Boogie 2988. No siree. I'm going to cancel the apocalypse and I will give you where I stand full bore. But first things first, a run through.
Wrong.
Oh no, I lied. Oh my goodness. I promise you it's gonna be quick. Real quick, I wanna show some support to Christian Turlato of the Red Force podcast, some very good One Piece streaming content, and of course, a messenger of the good word of the Red Hair Wonder. Currently, he does have a webtoon comic out right now called Scarlet Vixen, which is actually part of this Webtoons action contest. So go in the box below, check it out for yourself, like what you like, and hopefully show some love and some support for a fellow One Piece content creator without a doubt.
Damn right.
Number one, in my mind, Shanks is the strongest dude on the planet right now. There is no equal. There is only one God King, and his name is Shanks. And for me, Shanks is a Haki overlord. He has the best, ideally, armament, observation, and particularly conquers Haki in the verse. And if there's anything new we haven't seen yet when it comes to Haki, Shanks has it. Shanks, the red hair wonder. For me, he is the modern day version of Gold D. Roger. Speaking of which, too, the man, the myth, the legend, Gold D. Roger, I have as the top one, for the time being, of course, the top one strongest character in the world of One Piece. Just how currently Shanks is the number one character alive in One Piece, Roger overall currently is the strongest of all time. Even over past Prime Whitebeard, considering how he could fight against a Prime Whitebeard when he had a terminal disease. He had a terminal disease, so his stamina is not the way it used to be in his prime before the disease, clearly, but also matching him blow for blow, toe for toe, with very impressive and strong Haki. Again, as Kaido says, Roger conquered the seas with Haki. For me, there's only one person I have at this point in time in the history books that might be stronger than Goldie Roger, and that is Rox D. Sebek. That is the only person. Roger's right-hand man, Rayleigh, also a very well-renowned fighter. Base stats are impressive, but Haki, very excellent to where he can fight against admirals, even at his old age, rusty as hell. That's impressive. That's very impressive. And then we have seen some great feats in the series done with sheer Haki prowess and Haki prowess alone. So for example, being able to see the future and discern attacks before they happen. Even actually being able to sense all living creatures on an island and know exactly how powerful they are with just your observation Haki. And then we have the power to be able to bypass natural defenses and attack an object or a creature from the inside out. Clearly the main thing that threw off Kaido against his fight with the Scabbards. Duh. And then we've been seeing people use Haki so powerful that they can even negate Devil Fruit powers wholesale. So for example, Law cannot move Kaido or Big Mom in his room. Why? Because their Haki levels were absolutely off the charts. That is a huge testament to how important Haki is. And then being able, not forget here, being able to knock out literally tens of thousands of soldiers just at a glance, and conqueror's Haki infusion. Those clashes can split the sky, and the sheer power of that technique is absolutely absurd. Many characters in the current top 10 strongest characters of One Piece, I think, have absolutely absurd levels of Haki. So of course, Kaido, Shanks, Big Mom, Mihawk, Luffy, and so on and so forth. So that in of itself is a testament to how important Haki is for being powerful in the world of One Piece, especially if you want to conquer the seas. How... Sound the alarms, nuclear style. However, on the flip side, when it comes to that same top 10 that I have, I also understand that a lot of these cats have absurd devil fruit powers as well. Luffy, Kaido, Big Mom, Mr. All Day, Every Day, Blackbeard, Akainu, Aokiji, also in theory, Monkey D. Dragon. So when I think about it now, my top 10, there are actually more folks that have confirmed absurd devil fruit abilities than actual busted Haki.
It is what it is.
That's how my top 10 just played out. And we have seen some very busted, some very shocking devil fruit feats in One Piece. Feats that are so gnarly, makes your skin crawl. You can't sleep at night. Like, for example, a woman who can literally make inanimate structures and objects into living creatures for not just one island, a large island, but also an entire territory spanning several islands that encompass a section of the entire New World. The Queen of Totaland, Big Mom. Then you have a mythical bird, Man, who can take essentially any and all damage that he can, as long as his stamina can hold up. Haki, tech, devil fruit doesn't matter, he can take that damage and keep on pushing. So if Marco becomes the master of the treadmill, who was beating Marco? No one. He'll just continuously regenerate over and over and over again. And then there is a man who is his Oyaji, who could grab the atmosphere and literally tilt the oceans and land masses, creating earthquakes that can be felt on parts of the world. Scary. That makes my skin crawl to this day. There is a girl that can actually touch someone, turn them into a toy, and then their existence is literally erased from everyone's memories that knew that person. There's even a girl that can actually directly alter memories themselves. And then, on top of all of that, there's even a man, given the right weather conditions, who can eviscerate, literally disintegrate islands. All he needs is a few thunderclouds. And that's it, he said. The reason why, in theory, Rocks could be stronger than Roger. So my number 1 of all time is Roger. My number 2 of all time is Rocks. And the interchange, in my personal opinion. And the main reason why is because I believe that he could have a devil fruit power. And that power, I think, could edge him over Roger. I do wonder the details of how Roger beat Rocks. And I get the feeling that in some ways it could be underhanded, or Rocks himself was not himself. But another video, another day. And many folks do believe, actually, that Whitebeard is stronger than Roger. Myself, no shot. But is it possible? Of course it's possible. And there is someone in that group who is also world renowned, but mind you, movie focused, the Golden Lion Shiki. The Golden Lion Shiki was in the same sphere as Roger and Whitebeard, and this man was literally levitating passively entire island chains with just the ability to make things float. Who would have thought that floating and floating alone could be so damn devastating? And then even though Kaido talks about the importance of Haki in 1047, in the chapter prior, he big ups devil fruits. Talks about how awakening is your body catching up to the powers themselves. And since Haki is a natural substance that all folks have, armament and observation, that's also a part of one's body as well. Haki, whoa. This man Kaido keeps on flip-flopping. And then prior to that, there's even the Gorosei absolutely wanking the freaking Nika. Like, yo, this thing is so busted, we are going to sacrifice powerful agents. And Kaido upset, aw, poor old baby. Doesn't matter, we have to kill the Nika. So devil fruits or Haki, which pill are you going to take? Me personally, I'm going tech, baby! Woo! Nani? Jenna! Tech is beastly, but that's not part of the conversation. So, no fence sitting. Honest to God, I do lean devil fruits over Haki. For me, one of the core reasons why is because I believe that devil fruits have more potential than Haki does. And it kind of harkens back to the words of Sir Crocodile. The key of unlocking a devil fruit's true power is creativity. And we see that now in such a strong way with Luffy and what he can potentially do with his Gear 5. Creativity is the key. Pudding or Sugar or Caesar Clown, their abilities in the right hands, especially combat-oriented hands, that is a very, very scary proposition. In particular, Sugar, she just touches you, and dog, no one remembers who you are. Not even your own family. That is a emphasis right there. Get that going on. That is that a diss in Italian?
Correct.
I apologize to all the Italian watchers. Buongiorno.
Duh.
But to be fair, Haki could maybe block it, which is fine, sure. However, what if that same person has Sugar's ability, also has very good Haki? What happens then? What happens then? Someone has OD Haki, the other person has OD Haki, and the ability to literally turn into a toy. Does that then cancel out? I'm not too sure if it applies the same way there. And then also, when you think about the idea of creativity, look at Haki. Certain people have particular affinities for that ability. So for example, Monster Trio, Sanji, of course, Observation Haki. Zoro, of course, Armor Haki. And Luffy, of course, Conqueror's Haki. So ideally, You are limited in what you can do with your Haki based on your affinity for Haki. So at peak power, Zoro's Conqueror's Haki will never be as good as Luffy's Conqueror's Haki. That affinity trait, I think, does limit what someone can do with their Haki, at least ideally, theoretically speaking here. And Devil Fruit powers are not limited to that sort of restriction as long as you are creative enough with said abilities. And then Kaido's own crew, the man who was talking about how Haki is the greatest one, the man's own crew do not practice what he preaches. Frankie and Robin could beat Haki users like Sasaki and Black Maria, who themselves barely, in fact, as far as I can tell in the manga, not a single time used Haki or any Haki techniques, and Frankie and Robin are non-Haki users. Queen the Plague and King the Wildfire. King more so than Queen, but those two guys rarely used Haki and relied far more on crazy tech and the Imperial Fire. Oh, Haki, true, but your boys aren't even doing what you say is like the best thing ever. And then, look at this man Kaido himself. Look at this man here. Look at this man here. Kaido's final attack against Luffy is what? The Flame Bagua. Trust me, it is absurdly impressive. Making a flaming dragon Susanoo of that scale. It is titanic. Like, this thing would cover probably 2 times over the entirety of the Marine Ford. It is a huge dragon. But wait a minute now. This thing is like 95% Devil Fruit power. And the only Haki used in this state is probably just used to enhance the actual Devil Fruit skill itself of the Flame Bagua. Kaido, come on, dog. Kaido is not practicing what he preaches. And his own crew don't practice what he preaches. When you look at, let's say, Kid has Conqueror's Haki, never used it. Never used it on Onigashima in the manga. In the anime, one time, and couldn't even knock out the fodder. And then Law has Haki, but barely uses it, because why even bother? Because Law is insane in this arc. He's been insane, and his devil powers are like literally carrying this man into the sunset. It's absurd. So yeah, I am clearly leaning more towards devil fruits than Haki. And yeah, you can't swim as a result of eating the fruit, but does that really matter? There are so many ways to skirt this issue. It's actually a non-issue for the most part, honestly. And finally, yes, again, in my mind, Shanks is the God King. He is the strongest person in the world right now because I believe that his stats for Haki are maxed out on all fronts, And if there's any new Haki stuff we haven't seen yet, Shanks has it, and he will be the one to bring it to the forefront. And his crew on Wonder Bread 2 are also pretty powerful in the Haki department. Remember, the only commanders to be mentioned by name in the Ultimate chapter: Yasopp, Lucky Roo, Ben Beckman. Only those 3 names. Shanks' crew, I'm telling you, is gonna come out with OD Haki goodness. It's gonna be just, I can't wait. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies just thinking about that good stuff that Shanks is gonna bring. However, I believe that Luffy will surpass Shanks. The Strat crew will surpass Shanks' crew. Will his Haki be insane? Of course, without a doubt by that time. But it's also because of the Gear 5 madness. It is Toon World Luffy that will be even more insane than his actual Haki abilities. I did a video on this one a few days ago. Peep it. But if Luffy can make something like the red line, a section of it, turn into rubber, like it's gained the attributes of Flubber in the old school movie, it's over.